Thank you, Shivam, and thank you, Anusha and Kagan from the Rotaract, Caduceus, and a very good evening to my colleagues Shailaja, Vishnu, and Maria, who are taking part in joining on behalf of the UNESCO Chair in Bioethics. Now, this is yesterday was a very, we started with a very stimulating and fascinating. I'm talking to you from Melbourne, Australia, so it's past 10:30. But yesterday I was to open this, but I ended up staying till I think now almost till 11:30 or 12 at your program. So I want to tell all of you that you're in for another very stimulating and indeed interesting session on artificial intelligence. You've got an excellent panel of speakers here, and I'm sure this will be a great event. Now, a couple of things. Anusha talked about ethics makes you do the right thing for the patient, but it also has the importance of beyond making you an excellent professional. And I tried to bring the fact that um, all of you are the future healthcare providers to the communities you serve. And one of the important focus here is not only do you need to provide high quality healthcare, but that high quality healthcare given provided ethically and from a value based approach makes the big difference and kind of makes your profession join to relate back to what it's been known as the noble profession. Okay, so that's an important part. Now you might ask, you say we have what is today? We are talking about the World Bioethics Day. For all of you who do not know, on the 19th of October 2005, at the 33rd General Assembly of the UNESCO, the 195 member countries of the United Nations government signed and adopted the Universal Declaration on Bioethics and Human Rights. There is an earlier declaration on human rights, but human rights and bioethics were put together because we come up with 15 principles, but more importantly, you look at all the bioethical principles, they are grounded in the very important area or issue of human dignity. So the upholding of human dignity and then human rights is the foundation. And you'll see this year we are focused on Article 4, benefit and harm. And benefit and harm comes again a continuation of Article 3, which is human dignity and human rights. And that's the start of the principles. The Article 3 starts with dignity and human rights. And so that is an important issue. Now, if you look at, if you ask, what is ethics? What is bioethics? I was looking at Porter Stewart put, ethics is knowing the difference between what you have a right to do and what is right to do, right? So that keep that in mind. And we have the UNESCO chair, the Indian program, or for that matter, the world program. I am the head of education for the international program, and we have focused a lot on students. We are the first. The Asia Pacific is the one place where you have the MSAI became a student full unit of the UNESCO program in India under, of course, Dr. Mary Matthew, Professor Mary Matthew, who's the head of the program. But we also have a national student program, student wing, which encompasses the students from all our 70 odd units. And more recently, in the last few years, you'll be seeing that we have now established the UNESCO Chair Bioethics Student Program International. So we've combined the American Medical Students Association, the Asian Medical Students Association, the European Medical Students Association, and the African Federation of Medical Students have come together, and we are very much focused on the students because that is where our the future is. That's where our investment is. And so today, when Anusha and Kagan met me, I took this, and they have the Caduceus, the Rotaract Caduceus is also joining our program. Want to join the UNESCO program. So I'm going to now hand over to back. But before that, I want two things to tell you. One is tomorrow will be after your program at 11 in the morning. Please join at 5 o'clock in the evening. We are having the world's the UNESCO program with the European, with American, with the African, South Latin American. We are inaugurating the World Bioethics Day, and I'm extremely delighted that in this program, the World Program, we are going to start with the inauguration with the Indian medical students under Princy going to do a dance depicting benefit and harm to the world. So we are going to be showing the Indian medical students from America are going to perform a dance to depict benefit and harm, and thereby demonstrate the use of art in ethics, right? Something that we do. Dr. Mary has done a lot of that in Quincy. So tomorrow, make sure you're there, and then we'll have a presentation from Professor Daniela Kida, and then you go on to a panel discussion of all the divisions, or all the heads, seniors, or the regional divisions of the UNESCO chair. And Professor Mary Matthew will be moderating that with Derek D'Souza. Then on Monday, this 19th, the actual day of the World Bioethics Day, you're all invited. We are going to have at 12:30 Indian time in the afternoon, and this is for all of you, Shailaja and Mariana, and we are having the inauguration of the the Asia Pacific division of World Bioethics Day. So you will be having, and the students, we are going to have both, including the international medical students. So that is going to be at 12:30, and it's going to be inaugurated by Professor Ronald Hardin. He is the founder of the AMI and one of the medical education leaders in the world from the University of Dundee. Okay, so he's written all the books on medical and health science education. So he's going to inaugurate it, and we will be having all the countries, heads representing all the countries of Asia and Australia and in India taking part, and they will all bring from their country, that is, Pakistan, Malaysia, Philippines, and Vietnam, and so forth. All of them will be coming joining us. So we will, and that will be followed by the student program, which is going to have two lectures from one from Madalena, Dr. Professor Madalena Patrico from Europe, from the AMI, and the others from Dr. Himanshu Pandey. And then there will be two others which will be on the 21st and 23rd. So all that is on Monday. So all the students in our program, all our heads are invited to be part of that. So with that, I'll wish you all the best, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy this. Thank you, Professor Princey, for taking the role again, Dr. Mary for coming in, and all Dr. Shailaja, Dr. Professor Shailaja, Professor Vishnu Mariana for coming. Okay, all the best to you, and hand back to you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, for always inspiring us and motivating us. I would
What?
now
Sorry, one more. I forgot one more. Is that we have particularly been doing this to strengthen our students. We have the international the certificate course on bioethics and human rights. Okay, we've done maybe 4 or 5, and the African students and the Indian students have had, but we are redoing this again to give you all an opportunity to take this now that the curriculum has got bioethics. So Shubham and Anusha are organizing this on behalf with the UNESCO and the Rotaract group. So please join if you're this will be of course a great of importance to you, because one, it's in your curriculum, but two, for all of you who want to write all the exams, whether it's the USMLE or FLAB or the AMIC of the Australia, whichever, you will find this will be very important and useful. Thank you very much for that.
thank you
Back
so
to
much,
you.
sir. Thank you so much. I would now like to introduce Dr. Mary Matthew, who has joined us for today's session. She's Professor of Pathology, Kasturba Medical College, Manipal, Head India Program, UNESCO Chair in Bioethics, Haifa. Ma'am is also Council Member of Department of Education, UNESCO Chair in Bioethics. She has got degree in Medical Law and Ethics and has 25 years postgraduate and undergraduate teacher. Received the Distinguished Leadership Award in Bioethics from UNESCO. Ma'am has got 108 publications in national as well as international journals. Ma'am has also moderated 26 webinars on the UNESCO COVID series and has 12 funded national and international research projects. I would now request ma'am to please say a few words for today's session, ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Shubham, and it's really a pleasure. Lovely seeing all of you again on the second day of your conference. And I think you all are doing a very good job in reaching out to the students and raising awareness on bioethics. And I really like to welcome this new unit. You all are the baby of our unit now, so which has been formed during the COVID time. So I wish this unit all success, and this is just marvelous that you could organize such a conference in such a short time, and that speaks a lot about your capabilities and your interest to take the cause of ethics forward. And yesterday's speakers were just marvelous. Like Dr. Russell said, even I sat through Dr. Princey's talk on CRISPR, and for me also it was a learning experience. So for all of you, this is a series that will really widen your knowledge about what is happening around the world and why we need to know as medical professionals what are the ethical issues that that surround all these kind of new technologies and new challenges, especially now with the COVID era. We are facing new challenges. So these series, what you have for these 3 days will be really an academic feast for all of you. And I thank the Rotaract for organizing it. I cannot pronounce the other name. I don't know what it means also. Okay. So thank you, and I wish all the speakers a good session today, and hopefully all of you will have questions also for the speakers. So that will be very interesting, because you can enrich the conversation on artificial intelligence and the other talks that are there. So my best wishes for this conference, and thank you, Shubham, for your kind words. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, you always inspire us to do impossible, and that is the reason we try to do some or other activities which engages medical fraternity, ma'am.
Thank you.
We also have Dr. Princey Lewis Palti, ma'am, with us. I would like to give a short description about ma'am. Ma'am is HOD and professor at Department of Pharmacology, School of Medicine, Kochi. Ma'am is head South India Unit, UNESCO Chair in Bioethics, Haifa, National Chair Curriculum India Program. She has graduated MBBS and pursued post-graduation MD Pharmacology from Goa Medical College. And she has over 80 indexed peer-reviewed international articles, over 18 textbook chapters, 2 textbook, reviewer of many journals on editorial board of Austrian Journal of Pharmacology, and there is a lot more thing which goes into our CV. Ma'am, I would request you to please address the gathering.
So good evening, friends. We are again gathered here for the mutual interest that we all have, and that is our love for bioethics. For those curious minds who have just heard the word bioethics and joining in, they are also into this fold, and then you become, once you come into the fold of bioethics, your curiosity takes you in, and then you start imbibing ethics, and you start becoming, even otherwise without knowledge of bioethics also, you may be ethical, but knowing it, you surely won't falter. And today, actually, I have been kept here to see that these students would bring out this program, which is at a short notice, very well. And I was supposed to be the white ball in billiards. But this billiards, all the balls are rolling around itself and reaching the pockets. The white ball did not have to do anything, the cue ball. Okay, so that's what I would say. I was just a catalyst here. They have been enthusiastic and doing it all themselves. Just a point here and there, and they've got it all. So I really congratulate this team of Rotaract Caduceus. You all have done a great job. Keep at it. Start is always good. Well begun is half done, but we have a long way to go. Okay, and you will bring out more such programs that are so efficient. And I think the photo elocution, I am waiting to see the entries that are coming in the photo elocution, and I'm waiting for the debate tomorrow. But now, really, artificial intelligence, that is the topic that students have thought that would really draw attention. And by the number of people listening and joining in, tuning in today, I can see it was well worth the wait. And we have wonderful panelists, and I really am waiting to hear you all, Dr. Vishnu, Dr. Mariana, and Dr. Shailaja Mane. Thank you, Dr. Russell, Dr. Mary. Our students are doing a great job, and we are happy to be with them. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. It means a lot. Now we'll start with the session. Before starting with the session, I would like to introduce our panelists for today. We have got Dr. Shailaja Mane. I would like to speak about her. Ma'am has specialty in pediatrics, adolescent health, non-communicable diseases, human milk banking, etc. Current position, ma'am is professor and head of the unit, Department of Pediatrics, Dr. D.Y. Patil Medical College Hospital and Research Center, Pune, Maharashtra. Ma'am is founder and course coordinator, certificate course in adolescent health, Dr. D.Y. Patil Medical College, Pune. Ma'am is also founder and director, Yashoda Human Milk Bank Comprehensive Lactation Management Training and Research Center, D.Y. Patil Medical College, Pune. Ma'am is also secretary for Bioethics Unit of UNESCO Chair in Haifa for the D.Y. Patil Vidyapeeth. Ma'am is also head for students wing of Bioethics Unit of Pune. Ma'am is executive board member of Women Doctors Wing of Indian Medical Association IMA in Pimpri Chinchwad branch. Ma'am is also selected as a faculty in Adolescent Health Research Network in India for WHO. Ma'am has received awards and recognition from WHO, UNESCO, AACI, Association of Adolescent and Child Care in India, and many more. Ma'am has teaching experience of 20 years to undergraduate and postgraduate pediatric student of medical, dental, nursing, and physiotherapy. Ma'am has also been a coordinator for various phases 3 clinical trials, including WHO polio trials. I welcome you, ma'am, for this session. But the next panelist for today's session is Dr. T.Poovishnu Devi. Ma'am is Head Physiotherapy UNESCO Bioethics and Nodal Officer for Christian Institute of Medical Sciences, Bioethics Unit, Karad, Maharashtra. Ma'am is currently working as Dean Academics and HOD of Cardiorespiratory Department with teaching experience of over 11 years. in Krishna Institute of Medical Sciences Physiotherapy. Ma'am has received 29 professional awards, including Outstanding Contribution in the Field of Physiotherapy, for which she has received Mary MC Millen Women Excellence Award, presented 16 scientific papers, been as guest speaker in 17 national and international conference. Ma'am, I welcome you to the today's session. Our next eminent panelist is Dr. Mariya Jiandani. Ma'am is Associate Professor at Physiotherapy School and Center, St. GS Medical College and KEM Hospital, Mumbai. Ma'am has done specialization in cardiopulmonary physical therapy, critical care physiotherapy, and health promotion. Ma'am is convener for Mumbai branch of IAP and Firemer Fellow and Faculty Allied Health Sciences POS member, MUHS Nashik. Ma'am is head of GSMC MUHS UNESCO Bioethics Unit and also associate editor, Journal of Postgraduate Medicine PG and PhD Guide. Ma'am has teaching experience of more than 26 years. We are very happy that we have got all three amazing and eminent panelists with us today. Without much delay, we would begin with the session. I would like to hand over to Dr. Shailaja Mane, ma'am. Ma'am, over to you. You can continue with your session. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, respected Dr. Russell D'Souza sir, Dr. Mary Matthew madam, Princy madam, Shubham and whole team of the students. I am very happy to associate it with youngsters always. And thanks a lot for giving me an opportunity to be with you today. Hello.
Ma'am.
Hello.
Yeah, ma'am. We cannot see you. Yeah, we can see now.
You can see. Is it a
it's
screen?
Not full screen. No, ma'am. It's not
No.
full screen. Yeah, ma'am. Sure.
Now? Okay.
No, ma'am. It's still not full screen.
Blood sugar. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it now or not?
Ma'am, it's not.
Not. What's happening? Slideshow करो.
Ma'am,
Yes.
see the yellow bar with notice written on it. Can you press the cross at the end?
Hello?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
We can hear you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it full screen now?
No,
Ma'am,
ma'am,
it's-
can you go to slideshow now? I think it'll come.
Huh?
No, ma'am, it's still not full screen. Can you click on slideshow now at the bottom on the right?
बोर्ड चीकू के पास है, मेरे पास प्लैंक है,
Now?
डबल है मेरे पास.
No, ma'am.
Other participants, please mute yourselves.
Hello?
Shubham, can you hear me?
Ma'am, if you go to the icon at...
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you.
Why don't you ask Dr. Shailaja to email the PPT and you can take...
No, actually he had told me, but it is a big one. That's why I was not able to share it.
Won't be able to. Okay, right.
Now, are you able to see?
Ma'am, we can see a Cisco WebEx screen, nothing else.
Yes.
Shubham, do you want to give Dr. Shailaja some time and move on to the next speaker so that we can...
Yes, ma'am, let's do that.
And probably you can, there is another way, I think large files can be sent, right? Isn't there another way through Google Drive or something?
Yeah, I tried through Google Drive also actually.
Okay.
Ma'am, no worries, we can start with Dr. Vishnu Devi, ma'am. Ma'am, is it fine?
Yeah, it's okay.
On the table.
I would request Dr. Vishnu Devi, ma'am, to please take over.
Yes, start sharing the slide. I think madam is sharing the slide.
Sheila to come out and stop sharing, and then only you can share, Dr. Vishnu.
Yes, madam.
Ma'am, do you want us to play your slide?
Yes, now I have mailed you just now before 10 minutes. I have mailed you. Can you start that?
Yeah. Shayan,
Yes.
can you play the slide?
Shubham, please share the slide which I started now. Okay.
Ma'am, can you see?
Yes.
Okay.
Is this the slide I sent just now?
Yes, ma'am.
Just now. Okay, fine. Okay, we'll start now. Start now.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead, please.
Good evening, one and all. Respected Dr. Russell D'Souza, Dr. Mary Matthew Madam, Dr. Pelati Madam, and all the participants. It's my to start presenting the topic Artificial Intelligence in Physical Therapy Practice. Next. Okay. We know what is meant by artificial. Artificial is nothing but it's not a natural thing, and it is not a human-made thing. And intelligence, the capacity to learn and solve the problems. The artificial intelligence is the simulation of human intelligence by machines. That is the ability to solve the problems, the ability to act rationally, the ability to act like humans. Next. So this is the slide showing the top 6 uses for artificial intelligence, where respondents believe artificial intelligence will have the highest impact. 68% in cybersecurity and privacy, and 66% in treating cancer and diseases, and 56% in global health and well-being. Here the respondents believe that artificial intelligence will have the biggest impact on the healthcare industry. Next. Artificial intelligence in healthcare industry. Within the last decade, we have seen incredible progress in the fields of robotics and artificial intelligence. Innovators have been seeking out ways to link humans and machines, and some in areas remove humans altogether. Perhaps as in artificial intelligence within healthcare are improving patient treatment and care. Next. Artificial intelligence in physiotherapy. I think, Shubham, you are not giving me the slide which I have forwarded you.
Just a second, I'll check once.
Yeah, please.
Can you give us 2 minutes to get that slide which you have forwarded to Shubham?
Yes.
Just
No
2 minutes, ma'am.
problem. Yes.
I know there is the
Extremely sorry for the
technicality.
delay.
Yeah. We
We're
always
sorry
try
for the delay,
something
everyone.
good and better, and then nature and technology always defeats us. So this is the thing.
Shubham, please try WeTransfer. I think Dr. Shailaja can transfer her files through WeTransfer.
Okay.
Other participants, please mute yourselves. It's very, very distracting when someone's talking and you are unmuted. Thank you.
Okay, now I'll start. Shubham, it's
Is this the correct
Yes,
one?
ma'am.
I'm not able to see the slides. If I'm able to see 2-3 slides, I can make out.
Yeah.
I'm not
Shayan,
able
can
to
you change
operate
the
from my
screen?
side.
Yeah.
What?
Shayan, can you change the screen?
Yes, now I'll change. No, it's not sharing.
No, you'll have to stop sharing, Vishnu, probably. Isn't it
Madam,
that how it works?
Share content, I'm not sharing.
Is this the updated one, ma'am?
No, this is not the updated one.
Okay, just a second.
Yes. Yes, this is the updated one.
Okay.
Is it possible that I can operate from my side?
Vishnu probably can just say next slide, please, and then they will
Yeah,
move.
yeah, that would be better.
Okay,
I think that is
stop
better.
this slide
Yeah.
alone. I will continue with this slide. Okay, artificial. Shall I start?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Please start.
Artificial intelligence, it is the ability to improve the diagnosis, precisely target the therapies, and leverage care data is predicted to be a boon to precision medicine and personalized healthcare. Next slide, please. These are the top 6 uses for artificial intelligence: 68% in cybersecurity and privacy, 66% in treating cancer and diseases, 56% in global health and well-being. The respondents believe artificial intelligence will have the biggest impact on the healthcare industry. Next slide, please. Artificial intelligence in healthcare. Within the last decade, we have seen incredible progress in the field of robotics and artificial intelligence. Innovators have been seeking out ways to link humans and machines, and in some areas remove humans altogether. Perhaps most importantly, advances in artificial intelligence within the healthcare are improving patient treatment and care. Next slide, please. Artificial intelligence in healthcare refers to the use of complex algorithms designed to perform certain tasks in an automated fashion. Where researchers, doctors, and scientists inject data into computers, the newly built algorithms can review, interpret, and even suggest solutions to complex healthcare problems. Applications of artificial intelligence in healthcare are endless. That much we knew. We have only scratched the surface of what artificial intelligence can do for healthcare, which is both amazing and frightening at the same time. Next slide, please. Artificial intelligence in physical therapy. Machines that display artificial intelligence, the ability to adapt to changing requirement and learn from experience, are emerging in more and more physical therapy settings today. Patients wear wireless devices that gather data. Machines interpret the data and can learn from it to make the appropriate choices. Physical therapy is one of the various areas that is capitalizing on technologies with a particular focus on people who suffer from mobility issues due to neurological injury, pain in orthopedic condition, cardiac endurance in cardiorespiratory conditions, and balance in geriatric population. Next slide, please. While traditional therapy methods still yield results, recent research around motor learning interference and motor memory consolidation has shown that the optimal way to treat patients with neurological disorders is through the collaborative effort between the artificial intelligence and human therapist. The application of artificial intelligence in physiotherapy focus on reducing physical impairments while the therapist assists in translating the gains in impairment into function. Next slide, please. Okay. Artificial intelligence physical therapy benefits. They take away the mundane repetitive tasks. It performs complex tasks in fraction of time. Artificial intelligence can be deployed in home environment, which reduces the time and the resources. They complement the human effort. Artificial systems were more consistent and reliable. Next slide, please. This is the word SWORD Health System for Home-Based Physical Rehabilitation. This system uses wireless motion tractors that patients attach to their bodies. A digital therapist gives feedback in real time, such as raise your leg higher. SWORD includes a web-based platform where remote clinical teams can view analysis of patient data and use this information to monitor and adjust the rehabilitation program. In a recent study that followed two groups of patients recovering from knee injuries, the group followed the SWORD regime had time up and go scores half as long or twice as good as the conventional physical therapy group. Next slide, please. So this is a video. Shubham, video cannot be.
Shreyan, can you play the video? Is it playing?
No, it's not playing. You have changed the next slide.
No, Shubham, it's not playing.
What happens? Yeah, this is the video slide.
On next slide, I'll see.
Okay. Next is the Thai Health, an app that tracks the motion of points on the body using an iOS or Android device facing camera. An on-screen wireframe model guides the patients through exercises, and a proprietary machine learning algorithm evaluates patient feedback and adapts the exercise program to the patient's need. Patients can use a chat interface to consult with the physical therapist about the exercises. A clinical study conducted at the Technical University of Munich found that as AF-based approach reduced user-reported pain levels significantly. Next slide, please. Artificial intelligence enabled smartphones. By adding artificial intelligence to our mobile app, it automatically personalizes users' experience in the multifaceted interface. Currently, consumer expectations are the number of errors, download speed, and overall user experience. Statisticians say that nowadays people rely more on their phones than they do on their laptops and computers when looking for information, fresh ideas, and advice. In simple words, it is most important for the developer to create a simple yet useful interface so that the user was comfortable with it. This usually means that such app must be smart. In this case, smart means that is it requires machine learning algorithms. Next slide, please. This is another app called as Fizzy app, the app for iPads and iPhones that track patients' exercise performance, adherence, and outcomes. It also features anatomical imagery with 3D content provided by Primal Pictures. According to the PhysiTrack website, the app is used by nearly 1 million patients per year in more than 100 countries around the world. These are in this slide, you can see the pictures where, okay. Artificial intelligence enabled robotics. Robots were the first known automated type machines people yet to know. There was a time when robots were developed was for performing specific tasks. Yes, such machines were earlier developed without any artificial intelligence to perform only repetitive tasks. But now the scenarios are different. Artificial intelligence in getting integrated into robots to develop the advanced level of artificial intelligence enabled robots that can perform multiple tasks and also learn new things with a better perception of the environment. Next slide, please. The artificial intelligence in robotics not only helps to learn the model to perform, but also makes the machines more intelligent to act in different scenarios. There are various functions integrated into robots like balance assessment, posture evaluation, coordination control, motion control, grasping the objects, training data to understand physical and logistic data patterns and act accordingly. Next slide, please. Intelligence enabled robots. Artificial intelligence enabled robots are also gaining traction in the physical therapy field. Bionic Labs creates mechanical rehabilitation devices that works with hands, wrist, knee, ankle, and arms, guiding the patient to perform the exact movement in the correct way and providing assistance as needed. Artificial intelligence enabled robotic therapy system process a massive amount of data, getting smarter as they learn the patient's capabilities. Artificial intelligence enabled therapy robot can sense even the tiniest bit of progress and provide quantified information about the incremental improvements. Next slide, please. As the patient gains strength, balance, coordination, and ability, the machine provides less assistance, encourage the patient to move with maximum ability. These mechanical physical therapists can work collaboratively with humans, the artificial intelligence assisted robots help the patients fine-tune each movement possible, while the therapist help the patient translate these improvements into a greater function. Next slide, please. Implications of physical therapy practice and education. In the earlier days, but if this trend towards artificial, just a minute. Shubham, it's closing the picture. What to do now?
Not able to see the screen, ma'am.
Yeah, not able to see the screen.
Just a second.
Okay, now it is okay. Now it is okay. It's still early days, but if this trend towards artificial intelligence in physical therapy continues to grow and become accessible to more patients, it has the potential to eventually change the role of physical therapist. Michael Rowe, editor of Open Physio Journal, writes, physical therapists in the near future will find themselves working with transfer information networks on a scale well beyond the capacity of human beings to grasp, thereby necessitating the use of artificial intelligence to analyze and interpret the complex interactions of data, patients, and the newly constituted care teams that will emerge. Next slide, please. There are speculations that the patients of the future may gather health-related data themselves and work directly with the data scientists who will help them analyze and interpret the information. As per technical aspects of physical therapy are outsourced to machines, the profession of physical therapy will become more focused on the human element that only humans can provide. Next slide, please. Implication of physical therapy practice and education. This in turn will require changes into the way physical therapy is taught in the universities. Rowe writes, we need to ask how to adapt physical therapy education so as to deepen and strengthen the human-based components that are difficult for artificial intelligence-based systems to replicate, as well as to integrate the technical and data literacies that are needed in order to understand and work with smart machines. Next slide, please. Physical therapy providers must adequately understand how algorithms are created, critically assess the source of data used to accurate the statistical models designed to predict the outcome, understand how the model functions, and guard against becoming overly dependent on them. Data gathered about patient health, diagnostic, and outcomes become part of the collective knowledge of the published literature and information collected by healthcare systems and might be used without regard for clinical experience and the human aspect of patient care. Next slide, please. Machine learning based clinical guidance may introduce a third party actor into the physical therapist patient relationship, challenging the dynamics of responsibility in the relationship and the expectation of confidentiality. The risk of artificial intelligence in physiotherapy is the physical therapist recruitment may reduce, dependency on machines will increase, expensive to implement, affordability matters, widespread use of artificial intelligence raises a number of ethical, moral, and legal issues that are not yet addressed, poses high negative impact on traditional skills and increasing inequality and loss of accountability as a result. Benefit are accrued to a few rich and wealthy owners of investment owner. Next slide, please. Limitations of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence integrated robots and computers are not human and they currently cannot replace humans' ability to offer comfort and empathy in the face of pain, illness, or death. Technologies such as neural networks, while they may offer accurate prediction, suffer from the black box problem. They cannot explain their reasoning or logic to the patient, Therefore, a patient may not trust a neural network completely the way a patient trusts a good physical therapist. Next slide, please. Now we'll discuss about the ethical issues in the physical therapy practice after the introduction of the artificial intelligence. Ethical issues in AI. Implementation of artificial intelligence in healthcare requires addressing ethical challenges such as the potential of unethical or cheating algorithms trained with incomplete or biased data, a lack of understanding of the limitations or extent of algorithm, and the effect of artificial intelligence on the fundamental fiduciary relationship between the therapist and the patient. Next slide, please. Okay. I'm delighted that on the eve of World Bioethics Day 2020, to speak on the benefits, how to balance the benefits and risks of in the artificial intelligence used in the physical therapy practice. This is the first ethical issue. There is benefit to swiftly integrate artificial intelligence technology into the healthcare system, as artificial intelligence poses the opportunity to improve the efficiency of physical therapy service and the quality of patient care. However, there is a need to minimize ethical risk of artificial intelligence implementation, which can include threats to privacy, confidentiality, informed consent, and patient autonomy, and to consider how artificial intelligence is to be integrated in clinical practice. Stakeholders should be encouraged to be flexible in incorporating artificial intelligence technology, most likely as a complementary tool and not as a replacement for a physical therapist. Next slide, please. The second issue is accountability. If a machine learning model makes an errant prediction, who is to be held responsible? Should it be the physical therapist who oversaw the patient, or should it be the team or data scientist who made that model? Third issue is patient privacy. Is it the right to use the patient data to train the models? Should it require consent or not? There is any concern that predicting outcomes on patient may depend on things such as race, gender, and age. This may lead to patient discrimination. Next slide, please. The fifth issue is blind faith or skepticism. Physicians who use machine learning system can become more educated about how these algorithms are constructed, the data sets that are trained from, and their limitations. Remaining ignorant about the construction of machine learning systems or allowing them to be constructed as black boxes could lead to ethically problematic outcomes. Next slide, please. The sixth issue is on legal and health policy. Legal and health policy conflicts that arise with the use of artificial intelligence in healthcare. Legal issues such as malpractice and product liability that arise with the use of black box algorithms because users cannot provide a logical explanation of how the algorithm arrives at its given output. Regulation, privacy, tort, and intellectual property are the major concerns. Finally, anticipating potential ethical pitfalls, identifying possible solutions, and offering policy recommendations will be of benefit to physical therapists adopting artificial intelligence technology in their practice as well as patients who receive their care. Next slide, please. Drafting ethical guidelines for trustworthy artificial intelligence. Pursuant to the guidelines, trustworthy artificial intelligence requires an ethical purpose and a technical robustness. Ethical purpose is its development, deployment, and use should respect fundamental rights and applicable regulation as well as core principles and values, ensuring an ethical purpose. Technical robustness, it should be technically robust and reliable given that even with good intention, the use of artificial intelligence can cause an unintentional harm. Next slide, please. Future of artificial intelligence in physical therapy. To be clear, the human element of therapy is certainly not obsolete. The human connection between the patient and the therapist is still a hugely important factor, as this type of patient treatment often involves an emotional component that machines cannot yet address. supplementing human contributions with the incredible innovation, artificial intelligence. However, it is only a surrogate to provide physical therapist patients the best care available. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your session, for enlightening us on the topic artificial intelligence, whether it really reinvents healthcare or not, and its ethical deliberations related to it. Dr. Shailaja Mane, ma'am, are we good with the PPT? Yes, ma'am, we can see the full slide. Ma'am, you can start.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm sorry for the interruption. Artificial intelligence in medical field, its implications and bioethics is our today's topic. This is actually a time travel and where and how it began, and it can go anywhere we can't even imagine. Shubham,
Yes, ma'am.
can you play the video?
Anusha? Ma'am, Anusha?
Yeah, just 1 second.
Yeah.
This is a video, which is a video. These are the small clips which our one of the UG student Akul had created. He is very creative, and he had joined many clips just to see. We will see it as a how a common person looks at the AI. No, not this one.
This one, the other one.
Other one, huh? This will be at the end. Yeah, this one. Audio. Audio is not there.
Can you hear it now?
Ma'am, there is time lag, thoda.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it's okay.
Okay, no problem. At least we can see pics.
Yes, ma'am.
I think we'll stop it. So,
Anusha, you can stop the video now.
Okay.
just I wanted to highlight this was a fiction. There are many clips. This was a fiction a few years back, but now it's a of it is a reality. So AI, artificial intelligence, is an emerging technology. Already our prior speaker had highlighted on that, and it is now becoming a necessity, and it will lead to numerous questions and confusions as well as in many other fields it occurs. So there are various innovations which occur, which had happened in medical and biological engineering field in previous few decades, I can say, and I will not go into the detail. But there is a time now where converging of technologies is a need of time, like tissue engineering and so many other gene therapy, and we have to uh, use the informative technology and uh, other innovative techniques in the field of medical sciences to give better services to the patients. So already we have seen what is AI. It is actually interdisciplinary science with multiple approaches and advancements in the machine learning and deep learning, which are creating a paradigm shift in virtually every sector of technical industry and other industries as well nowadays.
Ma'am,
So AI
sorry
is
to
having,
interrupt you, ma'am. We are not able to see your PPT, ma'am.
you are not able to see,
No, ma'am.
Saurabh? 1 minute. One minute.
Sure, ma'am.
Minute again. Are you able to see?
No, ma'am.
No?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
Yes, we
Okay.
can see.
Thank you. Thank you. So we have covered these converging technologies, and this is how is we have to take help of other industries as well. In AI, we are having machine learning and deep learning. What we have to understand, why we have to understand these things, because then only we can understand how AI works, and then only we can counsel and better understand our patients and the both AI and intersect of that. So machine learning trains computer logic, data like images, text and reports, etc. And deep learning is a special type of machine learning who requires less data. Machine learning requires huge quantity of data. So actually, how does AI works? It thinks humanly, thinks rationally, acts humanly and acts rationally, tries to do it according to inputs. So AI in medicine is having virtual and physical branches. In virtual branch, there are three types of machine learning algorithms like unsupervised, supervised, and reinforcement learning. And in physical branch, it includes physical objects, medical devices, and robots and all other things. Robotic surgeries, it also includes in that. It was the physical. So robotic surgery is very emerging branch now, and in DY also we are having one robot which is doing some surgeries. But we all of us are still in the process of learning. So what are the growth drivers? Why we need AI in health sector, healthcare actually? There is increasing individual healthcare expenses and there is large geriatric population in India. Now we are having youngest country, what our Prime Minister says, but in coming few years we'll be having again huge geriatric population. There is an imbalance between health workforce and patients. Demand and supply is very disturbed. Ratio shortage of healthcare workers is there. There is means a lot of help is required in medical practitioner to work efficiently because in India particularly we are having huge workload. Doctor patient ratio is really very disturbed, and that we are facing many consequences of it during particularly COVID-19 pandemic. So let us see how AI is used in medical field. Particularly, we'll concentrate on 6 things like disease identification and diagnosis, drug discovery and manufacturing, medical imaging, which is very booming thing, then personalized treatment, smart health records, and disease prediction. Already our prior speaker has highlighted, I will just go fast. Like disease identification and diagnosis, particularly correct diagnosis, early diagnosis, and accurate diagnosis. These are the three things where it demands experts and which is not available many times, particularly in rural area and suburban type of places. So machine learning can be other options which can be cheaper and more accessible, particularly films reading and all those things. So how machine learns to diagnose? We'll give one example. Like ground level, when image is taken, it goes to Starlink and image is received and reviewed as per their available data. In a medical institute, for example, where it is facility is available, the diagnosis is done and it again goes to Starlink and treatment is advised at particular place. So it will be helpful at the ground level. In medical imaging, there is a lot of funding and complete infrastructure of imaging services is to be done, and it requires crores of rupees. One machine costs like many crores. So Starlink by Elon Musk and other projects that given an opportunity to minimize the human interactions, and something like the photos of booths of photos can be done. It can be utilized like having health saving possibilities, and we can utilize it as a investigational booth. Actually, this is the this will happen in coming few years. Actually, early and accurate investigation. For example, HRCT, particularly in case of now COVID-19. Again, I am giving examples because we are having so many examples, so many situations currently where HRCT is not available and we are not able to find out the score and give injectables and whatever it is. So ECGs, MRI images, cardiac images, even skin lesions, even histopathology slides, even eye problems and all other things. These are the few examples out of it. For example, diabetic retinopathy. See, this is a healthy retina and this is a disease retina. So there is how there are microhemorrhages here, you can see. Then we can grade it, for example, in no diabetic retinopathy, mild, moderate, severe, and proliferative type. So retinal bundle images are taken, thousands and lakhs of images are initially taken by doctors which are expert in that, and they are uploaded, and then that machine or AI uses it for the accurate diagnosis. So labeling tool, this was actually project done in India. That's why we have taken this example. And Google developers had done it and they have shared it on the net. So this is the true example from India. So 54 ophthalmologists which have shared 130,000 images to create this AI and support this AI, because AI itself does not work unless we give inputs. That is the main thing. So we have to give quality inputs. That is the main important crux out of it. So in machine learning, for example, this was the algorithm. Like ophthalmologists were having 0.91 F score and 0.95. That means AI can more accurately diagnose almost equal and sometimes more also than human beings. So, but initial data should be of quality. That is the precondition. So AI diagnostics are coming soon, like genomics, proteomics, and all other things, and that will allow doctors to focus on the interpretation of those signals instead of diagnosing and collecting that signals, and we can focus more on the quality care of the patients. Coming to treatment, machine learning can help discovery of characteristics that indicates that the patient is having particular response to a particular treatment. So continuous monitoring of blood glucose level, or sometimes if there is a sudden high in the blood glucose level, why it had happened, or particularly whenever we are giving insulin or any anti-diabetic, for example. So more continuous type of monitoring can be given, and we can design right treatment for that particular patient, for that particular disease. Coming to gene editing and all, I will not go into the detail, but there is messenger RNA which can be utilized in a more proper way for various diseases. Coming to development of drugs which can occur faster, actually, which is a very expensive process. Many of the analytical processes involved in the drug development needs lot of mathematical calculations, and it can be done more efficiently by AI. This has the potential to shave off years of work and hundreds of millions of investment, which many pharma companies are doing, and later on having they try to recover from the patients and community. So this can be done faster in a better way. Storage of data can be done by a particular AI, and it can be useful for particular that patient also and for other communities also. So we can take second opinion by just clicking, and you have seen in that clip also that one robo or tells that boy that you are having abrasion, you are having allergy to peanuts and all those things. So storage of data can be very useful, but it has other consequences as well. We'll see later on. So what are the benefits? So it will increase the efficiency, because round the clock AI will be available. There will not be any human interference, and there will not be a need for taking rest, even particularly quarantine and those who are getting infected like that things. So increased efficiency work the clock, reduced human risk, particularly in radiology department or current situation of pandemic. So there are many conditions where human means HR, healthcare workers are at risk of their own life when they are working with the patient. So that can be minimized. Then reduced risk of human error, and it provides on-the-spot diagnosis and with the second opinion also. Availability of machines, unlike humans, it will not need rest, of course. And digital assistants will help for the daily chores as well. Like for example, Siri or Alexa, how they are helping us. Like that, there will be other help also, and it will be useful to organize and manage data, particularly to interact with the users. For example, in cases of dementia in old age people, then it will help for rational decision making as well. But the rational decision might not be ethical. That is the main problem. Right program decisions can be taken rationally. So initially proper. They don't have emotional side. This rational this AI. So these emotions are not coming in the way, and they will not be interfering in it. So they can be more productive than human beings as far as emotions are concerned. But we'll see other side of the coin later on. So AI can definitely assist physicians in the clinical decision making, and it can replace even judgment to in some cases, situations like in the field of radiology, and it will help us for early diagnosis, feedback on the treatment, then prediction of outcome of the diseases, reinforcement for non-pharmacological management like physiotherapy, and Madam had just now highlighted. Then it will help us to increase the patient safety and huge cost saving, and AI can be useful for the large patient population as well. AI is having huge role in medical education also. So because already D'Souza sir had said that you are future physicians and you will be the future physicians who will be using AI technology more than us also. So, but we'll have to modify our educational process, and we'll have to reframe each and everything so that it will be compatible, and students will be able to learn what is AI and how it is useful and what is ethical, and all those things. So technology is definitely a useful servant, but it is a dangerous master as well. We must remember that, because we have to see other side. Each and every coin is having other side, and that's what happens with AI as well. Simple manipulations can change the behavior of AI systems using tiny pieces of digital data. So the person who is not having disease can be diagnosed as having, and vice versa. So hackers and all other troublemakers are here also. They can cause patients to be misdiagnosed, and it can lead to havoc and so many other problems, consequences of it. Even a minute change in the programming is enough to change all the pros and cons of AI. So such thing can happen that from AI joining hands to help, it can become a havoc, and seeking for the help safe from the AI. This situation can occur in the future. So where is the problem? First and foremost is AI in terms of medical ethics issues are involved, both existing and potential, which is not taken into consideration in a big way, at least at present. And AI requires monitoring continuously to whether to check whether it is working properly and all other things. And we have to ensure there is always a need to monitor and ensure that future impact is more positive than negative. So ethicists, philosophers, and all other multidisciplinary approach is required along with techno people. So there are various challenges like bias in the data. Certain demographics may not be involved when we are giving inputs to the AI. And particularly, we must remember that garbage in, garbage out. So quality of data collection and feedback, fitting it into the AI is very important at the initial step. And certain demographic features like elderly, women, kids, or certain poor people may not be included in that sector, so it can lead to bias in algorithm. It also can happen. Then decision making. So who is to be taken? Whose decision should be the final? That is again another question. So we must recognize who is involved, which is very important. There are various companies I will not name in the open forum now, but there are various companies which are involved in AI in medical field for their benefit as well and for community benefit as well. So how they have started, identify and monitor how these groups are working and what for they are working, advancement in a positive way or negative way. So there are various ethical challenges, which is a diverse field and stakeholders are involved in that. So this is the field of computer data scientists, engineers, academicians, and all other stakeholders. But at the other end, we must see bioethicists, lawyers, psychologists, then academicians, public civic advocates. So there must be, we must sit on across the table, we must join hands in hand to find the way out and middle way to work in a more positive way for the humankind. So there are various ethical challenges like in AI, there is no public, there is no human replication, and machines are rational, but they don't possess emotions and moral values. That is the main problem, how it differentiates us from the machines. They don't know what is ethical and what's legal. There is no judgment making skills, and it is particularly in case of unfamiliar situation because AI works on the inputs that is given. So particularly in unfamiliar situation, they can perform incorrectly or even they can break down straight away. And there is no sense of belonging or togetherness or what is called as human touch in AI. There is no improvement with the experience which occurs in people. AI can perform same function again and again, even if no other command is given. Creativity is not the key for AI. Machines can't be creative. Humans are creative, and human beings have created the AI. Humans are sensitive, intellectual, and they are very creative. So this does not happen. So no matter what, how much a machine outgrows, it can't inherit intuitive abilities of the human brain and can't replicate it. Many times in medical field, what we experience is this is our inner intuition that this patient might respond to this therapy or we should do like this. Many situations arise when we work on our intuitions as well, which AI cannot. So in AI data sourcing, product development, and clinical deployment, these are the steps, and I will not go into this chart. So is it a professional threat for the professionals? Actually, professional ethics generally deals with two parameters. One, behavior of the professional, and second, impact of their services on the patient or in large at a public. But with AI, we are having third additional layer of complexity, which must be addressed. That is the behavior of the machines. That is the third layer for the professional ethics. Behavior of the machines is particularly concerned with the safety and efficacy. How and what matter it being programmed, it lacks emotions and it might show impacts on the ethical decisions and questions, and that's why human oversight is always needed for it. So what to do about these ethical problems? Planning and making the rules is the need of the time. Regarding ethics, for AI, it must be considered that common pitfalls and what are the gaps in between the decision of AI and healthcare professionals. And always we have to keep a balance between abstract and concrete thinking and distinguish between humans and AI and ethics and intelligence and idealization. So we have to keep always a balance. And this is the decision making framework. There is a need for regulations and laws and incremental processes framework which comprises of 5 domains, like participant privacy, because there is a huge data, personal whole data is it is stored with somebody. They might be responsible, they will be responsible, but what if there is a breach in the confidentiality? So privacy may be at risk. There will be always, we have to weigh between risk and benefit of AI and whatever therapy we will be using. There should be access and usability. There is already, in particularly developing countries like India, we are having inequality in even medical facilities available. Then data management, various ethical principles always should be considered of, and these are the 5 domains which are intersecting with the ethical principles, like respect for the persons, beneficence, malfeasance, and justice, and so on and so forth. So we have to weigh cost and benefit, like financial cost, privacy and ethical cost, and reputational cost as well, because hospitals will be even are doing today also marketing to boost up their techno tools, which are they might be at present at the cutting edge, but there is risk of the product is there if it is not validated properly. And aggressive marketing can lead to unrealistic expectation, anxiety, skepticism, and so on and so forth. We'll see some examples of ethical dilemma. Who takes responsibility for crucial decisions, particularly in case of emergencies? The doctor, the AI software, or the software manufacturer? Who? That is the question. Who owns the data? Patient, hospital, or software manufacturer, or somebody? If hackers are stealing it, who will be responsible for it legally, ethically as well? Can they sell this data to other companies like insurance companies or some manufacturers of some medicine or some therapy? Can they take the disadvantage of it? Quite possible. Which company will have biggest impact on AI? There are many like Amazon, Google, and Microsoft, IBM, and many more are coming. So these are the few examples, dilemmas. Human and AI cannot be put at the equal rank because both are exceptionally good in some field and may lack in some other. Both together can be a very good step and very important step to go ahead in the era. Maximum beneficial effects will be there with minimum risk if they work together. Being mindful of new health technologies, like filling the gap in between the known and unknown risks, then ethical problems, decision makers should be important and at the front line to evaluate it. Probability and magnitude of potential harms against benefit should be always weighed off at each and every situation. There should be actually availability of infrastructure, which is again costly affair. Selecting and implementing technologies in digital health ecosystem is very important, and consideration of ethical principles like risk and benefit, privacy and access and and data management and safety concerns should be addressed. So newer technologies are having potential to add important value. However, without careful vetting, it may exacerbate health disparities among most vulnerable people in countries like India. So what are the potential challenges? Developmental cost, integration issues, data privacy and security, data exchange, then state and federal regulation, rapid and iterative process of software updates, and even human trainings as well. So these are the challenges. So what about future Indian scenario? There must be the collaboration between medical and technical institutions to stop working in silos and remove firewall of clinical load and hope for the better future. And government funding, even Indian government is also supporting AI, use of AI. Current status of medical records should be digitalization and all other things. New scientific and clinical findings should be shared in the community, and electronic medical or health records should be useful, should be done very accurately actually. These are the few suggestions, like anticipate potential ethical pitfalls, identify the possible solutions for policy recommendations which will benefit to physicians adopting AI and to the patients as well, who are the beneficiaries of it. Then adoption of policy on AI in healthcare is very important and need of the time, which calls for the development design high quality technology, which can serve as prototypically all should help. I request D'Souza sir take steps in this direction as well. So to conclude, we are on the point, on the line where it is really difficult to foresee the future of humanity in the context of AI. And we must embrace the new technology and change way of our living and our patients as well. So it is important to bring a positive outcome for welfare of society and eventually humanity as well. But we must not take AI as a granted, because we must remember that it is having other side, that it is having negative impact as well. So we should be ready to face consequences, employment issues, privacy, and I don't know, very existence of ethics and humanity. But I'm sure that till the people like Russell D'Souza sir, Mary Matthew madam, and all other team, Princey madam are there, and you all young budding ethicists are there, it won't happen. I request Shubham to play the second video, small clip.
Yes,
Sure,
ma'am,
can you
just
play?
play it.
Yeah.
Anusha, yeah.
Yeah.
Just see where we can have audio properly. Just check once. All are able to listen audio?
Can you hear it, ma'am?
No.
Shubham, can you hear it?
No, Anusha, no, we can't hear.
So you can start from that point only.
Okay.
Yeah, now it's. Anusha, you can make it fast forward. Anyway, we are not able to listen. Just slowly make it fast forward. Slowly.
Okay.
So that at least people can see. I will do the comment. So she is showing a live demonstration in 2019. She had created a clone of her. She is not knowing the Japanese, but she had created a clone which can speak Japanese. So whatever she speaks, that clone is speaking later on in Japanese. This is shared by a person from Microsoft. You can see it on later on.
Yes, ma'am.
Audio.
We'll definitely share the videos with the participant, ma'am.
Yeah, that will be better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should I pause it then? Should I pause it then?
Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. So
Okay.
AI may fly as high as kite, yet a thread to be tied and kept with us, to put a check on it. Because when you balance your heart and mind equally, then you are the master of yourself. And we have to be that person always. A big thank you to all. This is the team which had helped me, Paulami, Akul, Saurabh, and Dr. Samir. Stay safe and stay happy. Thanks a lot. It was a
Thank you so much,
talking with
ma'am.
you all.
for enlightening us about artificial intelligence. And yes, when it comes into picture, there will be disparity of power and lot of misuse, and the concept of beneficence and harms will play a major role, ma'am. But yet, it again depends upon people like us who takes out a call properly and do away with it rightfully, ma'am. So thank you so much, ma'am. I would now request Dr. Mariya, ma'am, Associate Professor at Physiotherapy School and Center, St. G.S. Medical College, KEM Hospital, to please enlighten us on this topic. Ma'am, over to you.
Thank you so much, Shiva. I would like to thank Dr. Russell, sir, Mary Matthews, madam, Princy madam, and all the Rotarians for giving me an opportunity to be here with you all. And a wonderful talk yesterday that I attended by Dr. Princy, and today's both Dr. Vishnu and Shailaja madam has very beautifully in-depth, depth. I would put off my video because of the broadband issues and would prefer to speak off the video. Please excuse me for that. And what I would go ahead to talk to you is, we heard about how artificial intelligence is helpful in today's era. Understood about its various benefits, about its, how it reduces the unwarranted variations, it removes the unnecessary stressors, less time, improved efficiency, automatic collection and analysis, and you get usage in accuracy of the diagnosis. It's used at diagnostic, therapeutics, and assessment and prognostication. So there are various levels at which artificial intelligence is being used, and its applications are there. Going from simplest form like Siri, where we enjoy talking to Siris, and you youngsters are very tech savvy, and you all would know much more how many times we talk to Siri and we talk to Arya, and we have a chatbot. When we are stuck somewhere, and the chatbot tells us, "Okay, can I help you?" So these are the simplest form that we are using. We are also going on to use technology of artificial intelligence in our daily life, where we use it while, say, health apps. We want to record our blood pressures. We want to record from the woman's health perspective. We look at the number of steps that are taken every day, because it's there in our smartphones, and that's why our phones are called as smartphones, because it's giving us a lot of information. A lot of this information is shared over cloud. So we do upload our data on the cloud, whether you call whichever phone has its own cloud, and it has a data which is shared over there, from where you can access at any point of time. So these are simplest form of artificial intelligence in daily life. But if you see the amount of information loading that is occurring over there is enormous. With advances, with the amount of information, you have big data that is coming. And to handle this very big data, it's not easy, or it's not humanly possible. And that's where artificial intelligence has come. So the data is being analyzed and interpreted by the program, by the algorithms that are being generated. And this generated algorithms give us what we are looking at and calling as artificial intelligence in healthcare. Like right now, Madam mentioned in COVID times. So from BMC, that is the Mumbai Municipal Corporation, they've come out with mobile in vans, which has got an X-ray machine, because humanly it's not possible to go into the thickest areas, and they take the X-ray images, they are sent to the artificial intelligence thing, and immediately a diagnosis of whether COVID is positive or negative is done without the harm being done to the human interface. Positive utilization of technology. It's not going to replace radiologists, because the skills of the radiologist are varied, but it's going to assist in an early diagnosis and coming down. So also in cancer, the algorithms have learned to detect and predict things down and diagnose certain cancers. And that's where early diagnosis and management is helped, and it's giving benefit for all. But where does the problem lie? We spoke about a lot of ethics. Vishnu Madam spoke about ethics.
Shailaja Mane spoke about ethics. So let us just understand a bit. Today we are talking about how it relates with bioethics. First thing to understand is all this is based on data. Medical industry lacks sufficient data to properly build AI technologies in India. We are still a lot on paper-based system. Some of the newer hospitals have gone into the digital records and they store themselves record system, that is the EMR system or the electronic health record system, from where basically the data is generated. Like for example, if I take Fortis Hospital in Delhi and if I take Fortis Hospital in Mulund, probably the data may be transferable. But if the same patient goes to another hospital, say namely Wockhardt, or comes to BMC hospital, then in that case the data is not transferable and the data is lost by itself. So hospital to hospital environment interface, individuals, family practice that exist, and more so even in all the interiors of India, there is no baseline standards for patient records keeping for data transfer or mechanism within the system. There are multiple databases and you may not get the whole picture. There is no uniformity in terminologies and a lot depends, and that is picked up. So if there is no uniformity, if people are not trained how to record data, if people do not document data properly, whether it is in the paper form or the electronic records form, the data is written in a very, very minuscule manner, then the interpretation or the algorithm that is going to be generated is going to be different. So in this thing, what is important is how we feed in data and how the data has been prepared. Because almost all biases generated is not an AI system bias, but that bias is a system bias. Because the algorithms are formed on the data that is given to them. So the bias will occur. Also, it will depend upon the cultural and the belief of the AI producer, the individual, have his own bias. It will also depend on the population whose data is taken. So if I have only a Maharashtrian population that is taken, or if I have only a Muslim population that is taken, in that case, my data is not representative of the entire population. So it is very important that when this data is being absorbed, it is a representative of the whole population in order to reduce the bias. Also, there are multiple distributors at the same time of the AI distributing the compactness of with which the AI algorithm has to be generated. So an individual bias and the belief system can be reduced. And that is when it's going to help in what we call as prediction models and prognostications. So we need to understand that we need to train ourselves in how data has to be put inside and taken and absorbed, because that is what is going to help us. That is going to help us in doing away with the mundane task. That is going to help us to concentrate on the most important task. The other important information is that there's a lot of information. Now, even if I'm using my app, I need to put and a lot of other information. So this is a sensitive data. This is a private data, but it becomes available. It becomes available to a lot of people, and somebody may have a malicious use of it. So when we are doing data, we need to understand how to protect the privacy and the confidentiality of information. So when the data is being shared, it has to be decoded. It has to be de-identified so that you can now put in and give the information. So the name, gender, sex, PIN code, postal code area, all these things has to be coded so that nobody can remove it from the mosaic pattern or a jigsaw pattern and again identify who the individual is. Safe people. Researchers must be experienced and they must sign the confidentiality contract. They should be made responsible. The project should identify what is the public interest, what is the benefit that the public is getting, and that information should be made available. Data has to be secured in secured environments with legal and contractual obligations on the organizers. And output of analysis does not identify individuals. Then only the privacy and the confidentiality is protected. When we are using it with our patients, we need to be transparent. So if we have algorithm-based clinical decision support system, we need to tell the patient that, look, this particular diagnosis is based on this particular algorithm-based system. That transparency has to be maintained. We need to promote the culture of being truthful and honest, and at the same time give our opinions and views of taking all the information together as to what is the probability, what should be the cause, and what should be the treatment outcome. Just because I have an automatic car, which is my AI, and I'm driving on the road and I meet with an accident, the onus of the accident does not go to the AI or the automatic car, but it lies on me as a driver. So I, as a clinician, ultimately am responsible for the decision making. So if I'm using a clinical decision support, which is a patterned formulation based on the hypothetical predictive model through which patterns are generated, in the same fashion, I have my own experience to add on to it. I have my contextual socio-behavioral context to it, and I can identify and use the clinical decision support system for the benefit of my patient, rather than being technical or being a mere messenger to say what is the diagnosis or how it is to be done. We spoke about black box algorithms, and we need to understand that these black box algorithms are a trade-off that one has to accept when using them. The efficiency and accuracy of these algorithms cannot be replicated by any interpretable model. We have to embrace them, but at the same time, we have to be wary and inform about them. We need to take decisions. The learning tweaks into the parameters as they learn, and hence problems in validating outputs of the systems may introduce an error or a bias, and we should be aware of these things. Data quality has to be sanitized manually. The population has to be presented properly. In order to facilitate decision making, it's the doctor who needs to take the onus. And as of today, a good AI system in medical industry can be expected to be accurate 60 to 80% of the time. Therefore, relying entirely on the AI is not feasible. We also need to understand that the AI systems are scalable. Like we say that we don't have enough data, so how do we use it? But we need to understand, like for example, in image processing or facial recognition, many times our mobile phone use the facial recognition system to put it on. So from a small set of, say example, 10,000 images, it can recognize up to billions of faces. And that is how it is helpful in doing the recognition of images, pathological histopath reports, and coming down to a diagnosis. So a healthcare professional moves into a system of fact-based decision-making and trust. And the whole importance of trust cannot be between the patient and the therapist, or between the patient and a doctor or a clinician. the most important thing that lies is duty to care and trust. In India, still, doctor is taken as a god. But one needs to shift from the paternalistic attitude to the patient-centric attitude, where with artificial intelligence, the patient becomes the center of the whole process. Even otherwise, the patient-centric attitude helps with the shared decision-making to reach the proper conclusion based on the social cultural context and the belief systems. Data management, data privacy, data quality, regulations, interpretation skills are all required to read patient-generated data from the wearables, digital pill monitoring, or the healthcare records. Need to harness digital innovation skills is very important. Need to recognize technology, informatics, and advances in AI is important. And this should be paired with critical thinking skills and astute clinical skills, which is very, very essential. We shift our roles from automation of tasks previously, where we could not free time, we are doing a lot of mundane activities, to time with engaging more on patient care with available of artificial intelligence. We become more complacent and we are less likely to be more of technicians. There is a lot of clinical interaction in physical and digital environment, which is distributed in time and space with artificial intelligence. The 21st century healthcare provider will move away from producing to analyzing and interpreting the data on a massive scale and across distributed platforms. He will need to learn how to position himself along with the intelligent machines, and that is very important at this point of time to introduce into the curriculum. The artificial intelligence will augment physical and cognitive abilities, and it will be very impossible to function without them. Caring becomes all the more important as machines are gaining its importance in the interface in therapeutics. We have robotic surgeries, we have robotic therapeutics, we have neural therapeutics, virtual platforms, and in all this process, the care and patient-centered trust cannot be lost. The teams which are loosely connected across disciplines, multiple professionals, inter-technology, and smart machines need fundamental reforms in how we can put it into professional practice. We need to deepen and strengthen human-based components, which are difficult to replicate, as well as to integrate the technology and data literacy that are needed in order to understand and work. We cannot say the program is over, but we will have to be lifelong learners in order to stay in pace with the artificial intelligence. Education helps us to adapt to social and economic disruptions. So we have to upgrade ourselves with the ability to access professional education continuously throughout our working lives, and which is increasingly important. We need to stay ahead of technological change so that more people now will return to higher education. We need to adopt to develop a mindset of flexibility that enables them to adapt to rapidly changing workplace. There are three fundamental literacies which will become important for clinicians. Data literacy, that tells the clinician who has become a single node of information network to read, analyze, interpret, and make use of vast data sets. Technological literacy, to understand the vocabulary of the computer. They will remain otherwise as messengers and technicians if we do not know what the computer linguistic programs are trying to say and interpret. And the human literacy, which is beyond the reach of the machine learning algorithms. Integration of these literacies to develop a creative mindset and mental flexibility to invest, discover, and produce originals that are necessary to supplement
the computation, and the rehabilitation or therapeutic programs. Hence, we need to rethink what we consider as code. We learn X-rays, but we have X-ray interpretations done through algorithms. We learn prognostication. We have expert systems talk about the disease prognostication. We write papers and summarize, and we have search filters and synthesis algorithms trying to do that. So we need to understand where we need to stop, to what level. Is it available to all? India with its rural and urban. Where is the reach of artificial intelligence? Where the artificial intelligence works and where we need to use our own clinical interpretations with that. We need to know how to interpret the algorithm decisions and more important, when we should ignore them and not use them. Probably the time has come to integrate data science, deep learning, behavioral science into our curriculum so that the healthcare professional can develop, evaluate, and apply the algorithms into the clinical practice. Artificial intelligence is not a bad thing. It should not be shunned. But the system which feeds needs to stand corrected with proper policies put in place for privacy, confidentiality, and trust building to be accepted with transparency, and where patient is a partner and not just a human subject. The human connection is the key to intelligence age, and we must take every opportunity to enhance this. We should develop creative skills rather than routine cognitive skills and look into the future where we can build better data, better infrastructure, better privacy regulations, and more amount of trust, emotion, empathy, and building in with the patient. And I think that is where right now we are. And from this, we need to take it further, that whether how we can put all these things into the practice where we are actually using artificial intelligence in our day-to-day routine and day-to-day patient care. With coming in of telemedicine, with coming in of health apps, with coming in of Arogya Setu app, which could basically track and give information to a lot of patients, a lot of things going into open clouds. Who's controlling the clouds and where do we stand? We need to look and introspect and take the advantage of the artificial intelligence without allowing it to harm our patient client therapeutics. I think that's all the message that I wanted to give you today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for making us clear the concept what artificial intelligence is and how it is going to affect all pillars of life. You also explained it very well that it will be, fudging of data, privacy, confidentiality, and it may violate all principles of bioethics. But then we need to take care of it. Thank you so much for explaining things very detailed. And I hope that everyone has taken some or other message from your session, ma'am. I would now request Dhani and Jhalak to move on to question answer round. We received some of the questions prior, so we have formulated them from the audiences, and now we'll move on to that.
We are not able to listen you, dear.
Ma'am. Okay, I'll take up the questions. The first question which has come is, how do we minimize ethical risk of artificial intelligence implementation, which can include threats to privacy and confidentiality, informed consent, and patients' autonomy? It is open to all panelists.
I think there should be means each and every relationship. Are you able to listen me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, every relationship stands on the basis of transparency. So we should first learn ourselves that what AI and what machines are doing and what are their limitations as well. And while taking informed consent and assent, we should inform it properly to the patients about its limitations, consequences, benefits, and harms, and all the things. So the decision final should be taken by the patients. Their own decision should be there, and we should implement what we are doing at present. We should not force anybody to take help of AI or to go ahead and man behind machine, or man not behind, actually man with machine, along with the machine. It's very important, and clinical judgment, I don't feel will have any replacement. We must remember that AI is there to help for the clinicians and not replacement for the clinicians. So transparency and proper information sharing to the patient and patient's relatives will be useful to solve the many issues actually. Thank you.
May I interject?
Yes,
Dr. Shubham, may I interject?
yes,
To
yes.
add that artificial intelligence is a tool and not a threat. It's a tool and not a threat. And we need
Yes.
to use it because of the quantum of data. The government, everybody said, no, we will be out of work. But the whole point is we can, AI allows us to enable us to focus our and our capabilities in better and different directions, which are actually, why do you need to go through the data to find a single adverse drug reaction? You know, it can do that in a binary logic. It can find out in a few minutes what you are, and we can concentrate on the humane aspect, right? So this is there to even goes, but of course with a lot of caution and care. But it never replaces the human being. Right. Thank you.
I agree with Madam, what Madam is saying, that you cannot allow it to replace. It is always used as a complement. And when used as a complement, then you are at the disposal to do much more to the patient with a lot of care and compassion. And that we should not forget.
Yes, absolutely. Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, Challu, you are audible.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So the next question which we have is, how can artificial intelligence provide accurate medical insights for people when the information going onto databases is limited in the first place?
It cannot. Because we have discussed, AI needs accurate information initially, thousands and lakhs of images which are accurate and accurately interpreted by the actual expert physicians. So principle is garbage in, garbage out. So we are there, we should ensure that quality of data is going in initially, then only we can have accurate diagnosis and all other consequences of it. So initial steps are very important.
And with this, you have that it is able to scale it up. So whatever little information that is needed basically to create that image recognition, say for example. So what is there? So it will take the image of the patient which is not present, not recorded with it, and it will apply information that it already has and then give you a result. So certain amount of data is mandatory for it to have to create a recognition pattern. After that, then the excess data it may not need. So it is able to scale itself, but for every this thing a precision is required, and how it is created is very important. So one, it is not just people who are coders, it belongs to them. No, the clinician and the coder, the person who's making an algorithm, have to sit together to come to a conclusion that this is what is needed and this needs to be put into it. He cannot do it all by itself, and the clinician cannot just adopt and take it that this is the information I've got and it predicts something. So both work hand in hand.
Yes, absolutely.
May I just
Yes, ma'am.
I would just like to tell, even if a prediction is made by the AI and the machine, it's like, a spell check that comes when you're doing typing a text, it comes and gives you a thought. It tells you that here there is something, but it is you as the physician or the doctor who accepts or, tells it to go away, because it compares with your clinical data. So clinical data, your symptoms, signs, that is over and above. But yes, it helps you to note something which we could have forgotten or not seen in the long run. Like, it can it goes through all the histopath reports. It goes through, as I am using as a pharmacologist, we have pharmacovigilance. It's a large amount of ADR data that is there. And what trend you did not see, the AI can catch the commonality in so many. So it is very, very important that it helps us. So let us use it very responsibly. That's with caution. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So Dhwani would like to take the next question. Dhwani, you there? Okay, I guess we can't hear us. Ask the next question. So the next question we have is, ma'am, to all the panelists, do you all think that artificial intelligence in healthcare will affect the roles and skill requirements of a healthcare professional?
100% it will not affect, because if any physician or a healthcare professional, he is clearly understanding what is algorithm and all the factors, and he knows every aspect, how to make it proper, the best for the patient, that will not affect. Additionally, one point is practitioners may lose the jobs I have mentioned. It's not that they are not going to lose the job. Probably in future they may take some jobs in the artificial intelligence itself, and it's like they will switch over to the artificial intelligence based treatments. So you cannot directly say that artificial intelligence will take over, and if it is taking over, or there is sufficient time, because we are now at the scratch level only.
Yes, absolutely.
Actually, this threat was initially expected when computers. I remember because you people have came out later on, because we have seen all the things changing. So when initially computers were coming, people were thinking that they will lose the job, and so many people's work computer will do and all those things. But now see. So there is a boom of software industry in India, and India is providing supporting whole world, in fact. So the people who are not upgrading themselves, who are not standing with the machine, they can have that threat. But those people who are upgrading and who are adopting themselves in the new era, they will have definitely their hand will be there. Thank you.
We will definitely need additional skill sets, and those additional skill sets will be understanding how the machine algorithm data is being generated and how it is being procured. So those additional skill sets would be needed for us, along with being more humanly empathetic and caring, because that will be a major role of where we can concentrate now in delivering care.
So, ma'am, just like my personal question, you said that we need some additional skills. So, like, what skills do you recommend? Just like, I just want to know.
At this point of view, at this point of time, we cannot exactly say what skills are needed. But I think that surely there should be some changes in the education in the university, and they should add some curriculum or some portions which is related to how you can in organizing some artificial intelligence code things or something like that, and that will help in the future when we get out of the profession and when we are searching for job, we can opt for a practice or a job into the artificial intelligence.
Thank you, ma'am. So, Dhwani,
Darian, Jalak, let me just add a bit, if you don't mind.
Yes, ma'am.
My,
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
yeah, so I just would like to say personally that, like how we have robotic surgery, in each discipline and field, you will be using artificial intelligence to the need of that discipline. So when we are using, we are in that discipline, whatever needs to be done, like Vishnu ma'am has said, how a patient who is paralyzed, or even how a blind man can see with the present type of this, then there is virtual reality. All these things can be used for medical education purposes, virtual reality case scenarios, etc. Also, we have the actual robotic knee surgery. There are, like how you go for laparoscopic certification courses, you can go in for robotic surgery classes so that you are adept at it. So many things are in the use, and some of the things, like how we picked on smartphones. Did we go to class? No, but we are attuned to it, you know. And as you become attuned, how do you use your laptops? How do we use computers? So we get adjusted to it as and when it is incorporated in our daily lives, in our treatments, in our therapies, how it comes through. And you get the training from the manufacturers themselves. Like there is a robotic help for a patient who is paralyzed, they will teach, and that is how we have to adapt and get on with it. So friends, it was wonderful. Our three panelists has done a really good job in bringing out the various aspects from various fields have been brought out, and most of all, artificial intelligence, we are not talking about the science, we are talking about how it would affect ethically the social and moral fabric. And that has been really taken down very well, what was the objective of this session. And I'm sure it is really good for a deliberation for 2 hours. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your
Thank you,
kind
madam.
words.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Now we have come an end to our session for today, and it was great again interacting with you all. I know, like we have given you notice within a very short span of time, but then to like our eminent panelists managed to do justice with their duty. So we are very happy regarding that. I would request everyone to switch on their cameras for a group photo session. So everyone, I would request everyone to please switch on their video cam so that we can click a group photo. I can't see Vishnu Devi, ma'am. Ma'am, you are there?
Yes, Shubham. Ma'am is here.
Can you make out? Yeah. Because I'm using another mobile also along with this.
Okay. So we'll have a group picture with us. Thank you so much for making our day very memorable and informative.
Even students can switch on their camera, please.
Absolutely.
All the students, please. We'll be happy to see you.
Okay, I'm taking.
Yes.
We are also missing the students as you are missing us since last 7-8 months.
It has become too much of me time for us, ma'am. Now it's Anusha done.
Yeah. Good.
Okay.
Does anyone else want to take?
No, I think we're good. Okay.
Yeah,
With that, we're done with the questions, right? And everything else?
Yes.
Okay. So with that, I would like to thank everyone that joined us today. We are really honored that you spent your Saturday evening with us, learning and engaging more into the topic of bioethics. We have a very, very big and awaited, for the lack of a better word, debate coming up tomorrow. It is between four major medical organizations in India, which I'm sure you're aware of: MSAI, AMSA, IMA-MSN, Rotaract Club of Caduceus. So, yeah, tune in for that. We'll be sharing the link tomorrow at 10 o'clock. And the debate is at 11. So, please join in at 11 if you want to see a really mentally invigorating conversation. With that, I would like to again thank our panelists. Thank you so much for coming here and giving us your time, taking time out of your schedule. It really means a lot to us, and we learned so much. I can genuinely say for each and every one that is present today, we learned so much. So thank you for that. With that, I will hand over to Anusha, who will continue. Anusha, go ahead.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Keegan. So, like a lot of you have heard a lot of things about Rotaract Club of the Caduceus. We, as members of the club and as people in the board of directors, have ourselves learned so much through the process of organizing events like these and organizing health camps across the country. So, we urge you to take advantage of the opportunities that you get through organizations like these and do participate, do join us. I have dropped the link for the WhatsApp group as well as the registration form for membership in the chat box. If you have any queries, you can feel free to contact us. Our numbers are on the Google form as well. And we've also dropped the certificate form link. So make sure that you fill it for your certificates. If you have any queries, do feel free to reach out to us. I can drop my number in the chat box as well.
Thank you, Shubha ma'am and Anushka. Thank you so much. Greatly.
Pleasure, ma'am. Pleasure.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for
Thank you
coming
so
and
much, ma'am.
teaching us.
Thank you all. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We are really sorry for the technical error which happened, but then
No, you should not feel sorry. That is that is a part and partial of
yes,
whatever
ma'am.
technology.
It's a privilege to have you all on board today.
Thank you.
We really like
We
enjoyed and learned a
and
lot, to
we
be honest.
hope that we would have more such sessions with you on various topics in near future, ma'am. Definitely.
Sure. We'll be happy.
Shailaja Mane, Vishnu Devi ma'am.
Thank you.
It was
Okay,
nice.
ma'am. Thank you so much to you too for helping us out with each and everything.
Thank you. We will leave the meeting. God bless you guys.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
You. Okay, with that, I will remind all of the participants to fill the certificate form again if you want your certificates. And if you do not get the time to fill the